Good morning, everybody. We will begin today's session now. So, this is the first one second. This is the first question for the day. The word given below is written in a specific font. From the options, you have to choose the word that belongs to the same font family. Now, in this case, the first trick is to actually look at how the letter ends or how the curvature of the letter ends. So if you look at the reference figure which is provided to us, the curvature actually ends with a tangent. Whatever is the curvature, the edge will be tangential to it, perpendicular to it. So here and also here you can observe the same letter, but the same principle is applied. So I'll just look at the options based on that part first. This is not tangential. A is wrong. This is tangential, this part. So B is still in the running. C mein, ye wala part is not tangential, so it's wrong. With option D, this part does not look tangential to me at all, but still I can give that some benefit of doubt. Now the next part between B and D comes the matra, because that is similar. The matra is very different in both. So we'll just look at, when you look at the reference figure, everything is very curvature. It's very curvy in nature, everything. If the letter has a line, like a perpendicular joint, only then it becomes like a 90-degree angle. Otherwise, everything becomes curvy. So with that perspective also, when you write a matra is written like this or like this with a font that has very less curvature, or it can be also written like this. So between these two, because the reference figure is very curvy in nature, we will say D will be wrong and B will be the correct answer. Okay, we'll go to the next one now. A 12 centimeter by 12 centimeter by 12 centimeter wooden cube is painted and its 4 views are shown here. This cube is sliced into 64 smaller equal size cubes of 3 by 3 by 3 centimeters. How many of these small cubes will have exactly one green face and one orange face in the same cube? We are given here 3 views of the cube. We are slicing it into, from 12 by 12, we are slicing it into smaller cubes of 3 by 3 by 3. What it means is one face will be divided into 4 parts like this. So if I'm dividing this into 4 parts, and also I will, just for your reference, I will draw here also the 4 parts. What you will see is on the edge, which has one green and one orange facade, color facade, there are only 2 cubes, these 2 cubes. One is this one and then another is ke baju wala hi. There are only these 2 cubes which will have exactly one green plus one orange facade. Now, if you look at one second, let me just number it. If you look at 1 and 3 figures, you will find that the facade, the edges, these edges, all of these edges which I'm marking here will have exactly one green and one orange facade. Why? Because iske piche ke side, 1 ke piche wala side is 3, which means that all these edges will have exactly one green and one orange face touching each other. So there are a total of 6 such edges which I have marked here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There are exactly 6 such edges, and each such edge, like we saw here, has 2 edges which has exactly one green and one orange face, which makes a total of 12 cubes that will have exactly one green plus one orange color face. Okay, let's move to the next one. The following figure is cloned and the cloned figure is reflected along the XY axis. How many rectangles are present in the resultant figure? So here I first clone the image along the XY axis. When you get the resultant figure, when I combine the clone as well as the original figure, I have to count the number of rectangles here. Now, please note here in this figure, the squares will also be counted as rectangles because a square can be a rectangle, but a rectangle cannot be a square. That's why. So this is how all the 25 cubes are organized. These are 8 cubes here, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. That makes a total of 25 cubes. Okay, move to the next one. Shown below are pieces of a regular polygon. How many sides does this polygon have? I just numbered the pieces just for your reference. This is how the whole figure will be constructed. Now, in this figure, you will find that the total number of vertices that the new figure will have will be 7. It's a heptagon. Okay. Here, you're provided a matrix. You have to find how many different types of characters appear in this figure. How many different type of characters appear in this matrix. So these are all the 28 characters. I've marked all of them that are different and they appear in this matrix. Okay. We'll go to the next one. You're provided a number of letters here and they are all made, some of these letters have different fonts. You have to find how many fonts are used in the given set of words. You have to find the number of fonts that are used in the given set of words. So I've again numbered them. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 4th font. This is 6th font. This is 10th. This is 9th. Sorry, this not 9th. 5th font. This is 4th, 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 4th. This is 5th font. This is 7th font. This is 5th font. And then the last will be the 11th font. So the total number of fonts in the diagram are 11. Okay. Move to the next one now. You're given here a sequence. You have to identify the option that will replace the question mark. From the options provided, only one answer is correct in this case. So here, if you look at the emojis, the tongue emoji is alternating, which means that whatever is here will be a tongue emoji. That means C and D will be eliminated. Now, between A and B, if you observe, the B emoji is getting repeated twice in sequence here. Now, we cannot have a third emoji here because we never ever see, we see two emojis in two emojis like this alternating, but we don't see a 3 emojis alternating. So option B will be wrong and option A will be the one which is the correct answer. Okay, move to the next one. Shape P is folded along the dotted lines to form shape Q and then folded again to form shape R. You have to identify the pattern on the back side of P. In this kind of question, the first step should be to actually observe the options very carefully. Which when I compare all the options carefully, I see that the curvature edge has different options. All the signs on the curvature edge are different, which means that just if I crack the curvature sign, I will be able to get the answer. The curvature happens here like this, which means wo yahan pe aise, which means it will be located here like this. So, which means that that emoji, ये ऊपर वाला जो आपका triangle है, is where the curvature वाला emoji comes. इसका जब आप खोलोगे उसको on the upper side, which means just make a mirror out of it on the upper side, it will look something like this. And then, which means यहाँ पे ये ऐसा दिखेगा. Just draw it with a different color. It will look like this. Which means that amongst the option, only option B will be the one which was correct because we find this signage happening only in B. Okay. We'll move to the next one. An image strip is cut into 4 parts. You have to identify the correct sequence that will complete the image correctly. You are provided the option, only one answer is correct. Okay. When you look at all the parts correctly, we definitely know P and S comes together. So that has to be our starting point. So based on that, I just started stitching the images together. And I found that ideally R and P are also matching each other. So the correct sequence has to be R, P, S, and Q, which means option D is the one which is correct. Okay. We'll move to the next one. You're provided here some sequence. 1, 2, 3, and then 4th. You have to find the 4th figure here. You have to identify the option that will replace this question mark in the 4th figure. Now, if you look at all the options, you'll find that the moped is first in this direction, then it comes in this direction. The bike then again goes in this direction, which means yahan pe it has to go in this direction, which means option A is wrong and D will also be wrong. Between B and C, when you compare it, the slippers are different. Also, the color of the clock is different. So if I go with the color of the clock, it goes from orange, yellow to green, which means it's going towards cooler tones. So that's why this has to be a blue clock. Also, with the slippers, it's oriented like this, then like this, it's rotated anti-clockwise, 120 degree. Then again anti-clockwise 120 degree, and then it again rotates anti-clockwise 120 degree, which means it points like this. So that's why option C is also the one which will be correct. Okay, now move to the next one. Each of these shapes is associated with one or more alphabets. You have to identify the alphabet or alphabets for the last shape. Why it is written alphabets? Only one answer of the options is correct. Why is it written alphabets? Because we can also have a combination alphabet like this. Okay. A is H, B is HF, C is G, and D is J. When you look at all the options which are provided here, C has 3 edges, F has 6 edges, H has 8 edges. Here, H has 8 edges and D has 4 edges, which means that this figure, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 edges, will be corresponding to the letter H. So, option A is the one which is correct. Okay, we'll move to the next one now. A sequence here is again provided. You have to, which may be moving like this or the other way around. Either ways. You have to identify the option that will replace the question mark. Here, if you look at the time, this is 9, this is 9, this is 3. We don't know what comes here, and this is 7:30. The difference between 9 and 9 is of course 0 hours, but it can also be interpreted as 12 hours difference. Between 9 and 3 can also be, between 9 and 3 the difference is obviously 6. And then between 3 and 7:30, the difference is 4.5 hours, 4.5 hours. So if I go by the logic that as we are moving on this from left to right, it is decreasing. The difference is decreasing by half. So 12 से 6 हुआ if I take 12. So 12 से 6 हुआ. 6 से it should be 4. And then from 4 it has to be 1.5. So that way 4 plus 1.5 will obviously add to 4.5. And then 3, sorry, 3 plus, sorry, 3, sorry. This has to be 3, not 4, I'm sorry. 3 plus 1.5 will obviously add to 4.5. And then the figure that will come here will be 3 o'clock plus 3 o'clock, which means it has to be 6 hours, 6 o'clock. So the correct answer will be option B by that logic. Okay. We'll end today's session with this question. Thank you so much.